So, hello everyone, this is OK here, and we're watching a live match between Zaraza against FIDE Master royalblue04 from Ireland. Interesting, wow. And if we just look at game one, Zaraza was black and played the wolf defense and hits h3. Oh, I don't like this, because he's a FIDE Master, all the analysis has been done already, which is rather annoying. She gets a good h3 attack. Oh, he goes king g3. That feels like a mistake, because black didn't have a second knight to try and get mate, so the king didn't have to run up to g3. King on g3 is very exposed, and of course what does Zaraza do? Trades lots of material, and that open king is going to be in trouble soon, I would expect. But okay, it's not so clear. And she gets mate in the middle of the board, so really fun game to begin, to take the opening game. And we're now in game two, so we're just going to try and again catch up the action. I'll just ask if anyone wants to join me in the house party. It'd be fun if people want to join in. And in game two, it's a d4, d5. Zaraza does play d4, d5. She picks up a pawn, and nice, so very nice opening. Yeah, this is a problem. Bishop g2, there was no need for bishop g2. Maybe even just rook f2 was good. Bishop g2 is just letting your king, yeah, okay, so now rook f2 comes later. Yeah, so rook f2 was, so now she has to hold rook for the rest of the game. But okay, here actually you could just clear it out, and that knight is actually stuck in the corner. So that was actually not such a smart move. So king takes pawn is fine, take the knight, oh, just king takes knight. Next, the knight was stuck. Take this knight as well. Just keep eating up all the material. Yep, and she's doing well this game actually. Okay, you have to make sure you cut off this file though. So you need a blocker, otherwise this file opens up and it's very dangerous. So like a rook here would be dangerous, for example. But a bishop here would even be potentially dangerous. So okay, nice, just blocks it off. A bishop here was stronger because defended by a pawn. Because now they're still sort of this diagonal is open. So the potential, for example, pawn here, now suddenly there'd be a rook check here. So difficult to do a fast attack. I mean, you could just go straight into attack with f6, say my attack is faster. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Sorry, I didn't mean to have this open. Just checking to see if anyone's going to join me in the house party. That'd be great if people can. Hopefully my sound is working. Hopefully I'm live on Lichess. Just while there's a quick pause in the action, I'll just check. So Zaraza going straight. I am live on Lichess, so wonderful. I'm on the Lichess front page. So black does have an attack with f3, but maybe white's attack is faster, with the threat being knight at e7, takes g7, and simply just getting on these dark squares. So let's see how it goes. And seems to be a quiet day on Twitch on a Sunday morning. Everyone's asleep, so not that many streams at the moment. So hopefully people can wake up to enjoy this match. Okay, interesting. So this is very aggressive. Just going for takes, and then pawn here, and then queen takes bishop. I think that doesn't. Yeah, it's interesting. Here, and then queen takes bishop comes, and it's threatening here. So the question is there any counter? And there is a counter actually here. A beautiful counter. Check. Okay, so you have to go bishop. And the king has to come up. Pawn is forced, and then rook here will finish it. So you're picking up the queen with check. So this is very, very nice. And no, knight at h6 was mate, well, apparently. With the smother idea. And if you take, how? Oh, I see. Because if you take, then rook here, pawn. Okay, but this is also mate. This is also mate. Okay, so if you take, you win a queen, and yeah, this is also mate. So yeah, so an equally good mate, and Zaraza takes a 2-0 lead. So I'm going to try and see if anyone can join me in house party. That would be nice. It's almost more fun if there are more people commentating. Yeah, so previous games are just auto-analyzed. It's a new feature with Lichess. If either player is titled, the game is auto-analyzed by Lichess. And so the old rule was CWC games you shouldn't analyze until the series is finished. Well, we can't do that because Lichess is now analyzing it automatically. The new rule was going to be okay. Well, players shouldn't be staring at analysis board during a live match because they should even if their engine is off, they shouldn't be looking at previous games, which is fair enough. The problem is people could enter analysis board in an incognito window. As PKR pointed out, so we can't really. There's nothing to stop someone doing that even. So it's a rather difficult situation of what the rules should be. Yeah, white is obviously dominating. So what went wrong in the opening? So this is fine. This is all fine. I mean, this is fairly slow and not necessary. So maybe he's taken a move to takes here, back off, knight here. A lot of, I mean, maybe just doing this was fine. There was no need to, but okay, this is not too bad. And then bishop again, so you see he's removing the same pieces again and again, and so lack of development. So maybe even king here, but then there were sacks on g7 is the problem. So what's the solution? Okay, so this isn't, bishop f8 is obviously very passive. Okay, you could take this pawn, but then knight takes pawn. Okay, takes this pawn. If he ever gets a pawn, pawn here is a bit annoying. So the problem is knight takes pawn, knight takes knight, and then pawn here comes. So this is interesting. Okay, I quite like this actually, because white doesn't have a pawn for now. So actually, apparently, yeah, Wolf actually points out maybe there was just knight takes f6 though. Knight takes f6. But then this, knight takes knight, pawn takes, and knight g7, but then the king can't run. So I think knight at g7 is uncomfortable. Yeah, I think that was still uncomfortable. So I quite like this. This takes, rook here. Okay, so she's going for a queen trade. White is going for a queen trade. I don't think he has enough though. I think he could just. I mean, firstly, you could just take this pawn. That's the first thing. Okay, so what? It just blocks the file. Okay, that's also fine. Now I wonder though if Zaraza could have just gone. Okay, I'll take that free knight. Queen takes queen, and then just even just rook takes queen, queen here check, and then just run, and say I'm actually perfectly safe. I'm going to hide behind my rook. You can come with your rook check, and then I block. So that would have been very greedy. So blocks here, takes the rook, takes here, bishop takes. This, okay, this is still. I still think this is fine for black. Just keep on blocking. So Lone Wolf keeps on changing his mind. This loses. Oh, maybe she got away with it. Yeah, I think it's fine. I mean, even king takes. Hang on, wasn't king takes? Yeah, king takes knight was dangerous because rook here and the king is flushed out. So block was correct. Takes the knight. Okay. Hi there, Bug Day. He says, hello, okay, Zaraza is so strong today. Do you think we can see something like 6-0? Well, if you check out my YouTube, I was training her last night, but I take no credit. She's strong. um, but but having said that, royalblue04 is also very strong and will find his footing. So I expect this to be a tight match. But if you look at my latest YouTube and go about, I've given the timestamp in the description. We did a long training. Well, we did a training session last night about in the sort of last hour of that video. But to be honest, royalblue04 is massive favourite. You just look at the rating differential between these two players. There's no question about it. royalblue04 is complete favourite for this match. He's a very strong chess player. But okay, amazing start from Zaraza, but she's got cut off here, unfortunately. She goes forward, it's mate. She goes back. Notice how the queen cuts off all the squares. So this is critical. At this point here, she had to run back. But running back, there was bishop here and rook here, mate, was the problem. Back rank weak. So bishop here, she'd have to go like here and try and induce a rook on the 7th rank. But then there would be like pawns promoting, probably. So like a pawn check here, and if you go here, another pawn would mate you. Yeah, so you'd still, everything was mate in this position. And this, pawn here is king here, and pawn here is checkmate. So she has, yep. So I think she was doing okay that game, but a bit too many holes in her camp. And so it's 2-1. It seems to have a. So is anyone able to? Okay, so we have here the bishop g5 lines. Interesting. Hi there, Cross Online. Yeah, I posted my YouTube, so your match is also on YouTube. That's the second last video on my YouTube. So I'll just post the YouTube again. And I'll just post the blog link while I'm posting links, which has lots of history about this competition in previous years, lots of puzzles. There's an index of studies if people want to practice studies on Lichess, to practice Crazyhouse mates on Lichess, stuff like this. So I did this. So first Clearcast did like a 2.5-hour stream yesterday of Crazyhouse covering 2 matches. Then I did another one covering Cross Online's match with Gingerbread 17 and a second match, Crazy 8 seeing off Garnet 123, which is very impressive. And then after that, I did another 3-hour stream covering the evening match and doing a training session with Zaraza in Crazyhouse. So it was a big day of Crazyhouse streams for me yesterday. And probably this will be my last day then for a while. I'll need to take a little bit of a break. But I have something already done which I'll post later. But I won't say what that is yet. So this game, so this was all making sense here. So White's got a space advantage, now trades off pieces, and once you trade off the pieces, you then begin the attack. You use the pieces to make something happen. And you want to make something happen on f6, h6, usually in these sorts of positions. And more luck, yes, I will stream this and then the finisher match, and then hopefully I need to focus on other things. But I might still do streams, but I'll be incredibly busy. So the finisher is playing against Advocaat in 34 minutes. So I'll be streaming that match as well. And Advocaat is actually in the Lichess chat here. So you want to put the queen somewhere where it can't be harassed. So the problem with queen e1, this might harass it a little bit. Put the queen here, then this pawn takes pawn will be a huge threat to pawn at e2. Put the queen here. Where's the harassment after queen h5? I can't see any obvious harassment. So queen h5 is quite tempting to me. And see if they something. Okay, yeah, there was that move. Yeah. So the one square you have to avoid is obviously this square, because then you get the forks happening. Okay, I think it's time to attack, and this is what we're seeing. Oppa says queen h5 feels better actually. Yep, indeed. Okay, we need a second knight. That's the one problem. But we don't quite have. We do have pawn here, bishop here, so that's quite nice. Pawn here, bishop here, or bishop here. Yeah, that feels good. So really nice, strong attacking from Zaraza. Yeah, queen h5 feels better, so you can play on the king. Exactly. Oppa's got it. Oppa, if you can join me in the house Discord voice chat, that would be amazing. If you can't, it's okay. And actually, Oppa makes another comment saying here he likes the move rook at g5, very strong. Yeah, immediate counter on the queen. This was too slow. Yeah, and suddenly trying to distract the queen, so queen takes pawn, and Zaraza says, no, 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 I'm focusing on this attack, and I think he might, Royal Blue will probably even have to give up this queen. Yeah, Oppa says, good midday, but not possible. I guess it's also even, it's lunch coming up as well. Yes, no worries at all. It's lovely to have you in the Twitch chat, Oppa, so no worries. I'm imagining Royal Blue will just try and grovel at this point with bishop g7, just to try and get back control of the dark squares. And he's burning a lot of time as well. But you see how it'll lose a lot, because you'll lose this, and you could even just lose the knight. And, even if there is no direct, and something I really need to realize is okay, this is not going to be, this is desperation. This is not, yeah. Obviously, this was a mistake. Okay, this is desperation. This is not going to work out. This is not going to work out for him. He's just burning all his material, and it's not going to work. Even queen takes rook, I think, was fine. Queen doesn't mate. Oh, she got tricked. She should have taken the rook. Okay, that was a nasty little trick there. Okay, still she's okay, probably. But now there's a oof. Okay, this was a nasty trick. Queen takes rook might be something. It's really hairy. Or just block. Oof, in time pressure. Yeah, queen takes rook was totally winning. But now queen takes rook comes. Oof. Just come just a little too late. Yeah, no, knight here is very good, reinforcing. And now rook here, check. The game's not over. This is still great. This is actually still great. Rook here wins queen. And the game continues. And knight defends the mate. So this is actually strong. Still strong. I mean, probably lost, actually, because the back rank is weak. But that knight here is a mating threat, basically. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, defending. Ah, queen takes. So sneaky defense there. Okay, now this is all over. Yeah. So royal blue takes it. So really sneaky play there from royal blue, doing the kind of sneaky defense here. He had an eye. He was both attacking, but he had an eye on defense. Yeah, it was very close to being 3-1 up. But 2-2 it is. And unfortunately, yeah, it's the sort of thing where you need to take your advantages while you have them. Because, yeah, Oppa says in that final position, knight h5 instead of knight f5 might have been something. I think I missed that live. Okay, and this is already looking a little hairy with these sorts of ideas. Pawn here, knight here. It's not the end of the world, but okay, so even sidesteps it. So just right at the end here, was then knight h5? Was there knight h5? So if the king goes back, queen at g2 is still mate. So the king has to go to h6. But now you're just driving the king up the board. And surely there's a mate somewhere here. Just double checking. So here check, king takes pawn. The king can never run this way, so you could just go with the pawn check. King comes back. Oh, so if the king ever takes the knight, then you have this check, and you can block. Am I messing this up? And this is checkmate. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, so I might be mixing things up, but the point is it did work. There was a mate there with knight h5. So very tight. Queen g7 and g4. Yeah, that's what I saw as well. So okay, so here she had to make up her mind. King f8 or king takes f7. You don't want to go king f8 and then go king takes f7. By doing that, she's given white extra time. So if you want to go king takes f7, you have to go straight away and back off. But to be honest, it makes sense to do this, then to protect this square, and then to go king h7 at a later stage when you know it's safer. So here, this is much more dangerous because, but okay, she seems to have solidified actually. So here we go again. Here we go again, and we're going to see at f7 again. We're not, okay. And interestingly, we have also this idea, just castling on the queen side by hand. Oh no 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 no! Oh yeah, the bishop's covering. Okay, okay. No worries. This is fine. Everything's fine. She just wants to be aggressive with her king. It's very creative. Bit dangerous because the queen can come out. So yeah, you got to watch out. Royal Blue's an FM. He knows how to use his queen. I think it's just about okay. No, it's not okay because there's knight here and bishop here. If the king ever takes that rook, this square is actually weak. So you should have to be very careful. Yeah, see if this, and you can't go this way because bishop here, you'll be got on both colours. Yeah, this is going to come. Knight here, bishop here, here, pawn here, here. And it's close to mate. You've just got these dark squares where you're hiding at the end of the day. So probably stepping down is always safer than stepping on g7 because you're allowed this h6 check. Takes, queens now comes in, comes back, and bishop here is checkmate. The beautiful two bishops mate. Okay, he hasn't found it yet. And the game goes on. But okay, there's the mate. So Royal Blue has found his footing, as it were. But I don't know, I mean, it could easily have Could easily have been a different scoreline at this point. Now, hi there, Cross Online. I see you're in the Discord. If you can talk, then do join in. But if you can't, that's also okay. Bug Day says, the nice thing about Crazyhouse is that the game balance can change quickly. That game was a good example. Yes. So here, right, already a slight opening advantage. Take on f5, doubling these pawns, wrecking the pawn structure. So the thing about, they say, all the best games, even if you lose, they give you the feeling that you could have won. And in that sense, Crazyhouse is better than chess, because in chess, if you play a grandmaster or someone very strong, there'll be no point in the game when you felt, I could have won this game. Whereas the thing about Crazyhouse is that you could be playing some of the best players in the world, and unless they're the real, like Katask or JK the Bullfrog, even the best players, or TheFinnisher, even the best players in the world, there are moments in the game when you can say, if only I had played this move, I would have won the game. So this is interesting, because you see how Black's pawn structure is a complete wreck. So there are plenty of holes, but can they be exploited? So White is sort of going pawn hunting, which is not, that's not such a bad idea, because once you get a pawn, you got like at e7 ideas, at b7 ideas, but you have to take a move out to defend your king also. So you need to take a move out to defend your king, and then you can go taking these pawns. Also, knight c3 maybe just trades and replaces. So if yeah, she takes a move out to defend her king, which is wonderful, and she will be taking a pawn at some point. But that's, oh, don't take this way because queen takes this pawn, so yeah, this one's safer in this position. And that now the queen is going to get harassed. Actually, Black could be in some trouble here. With some accurate moves. Can defend with a counter attack. Just okay, it pins yourself, but so what? I've got bishop takes pawn coming, defending. Next move. So I quite like knight at f3 here with the counter attack. And I don't think this is quite a fun thing. Knight takes f3. If it was White's move, takes. We have no, we don't. We don't have another knight. Okay, if we had another knight, I was dreaming of this and a smothered mate, but we don't quite have another knight. But is there anything? Yeah, I can't see anything. But you see a lot of pressure on f7. Okay, so we see this move. I like it. And this move will come next to reinforce it. And then you'll take on here, and then you get some back rank attacks. Yeah, bishop takes here. Notice, she's trying to... Royal Blue is trying to go for these sneaky distance attacks. Interesting. So this is trying to play quite quick. So if you take, this is sneaky. What's he going? He's going for this and takes the queen. Well, let's see what Oppa says. Knight f3 is nice. Attack with tempo, even though you lose a knight in hand. Takes f3, and maybe takes d5 or takes a8, and h2 is covered. g5 under attack. Yeah. So here, what do? Maybe do you just give up? The knight covers this square here, the checking square. So you could give up the queen if you wanted, or just sidestep. So takes, okay, queen takes, then what? You always got to block on h3 if you need to. So queen takes, knight takes, pawn takes, oh, no. No, pawn takes can't be right, because you've opened up g2. Yeah, oh no, pawn takes, oh my goodness. What, yeah, anything but pawn takes. Hi there, R2300. Hey. Bishop h2 was a nice move, yeah, as Oppa said. But I still think there were simple defenses. Just queen takes and just block on h3. It's fine. But pawn takes was the one move that lost for sure, because you take away your defense of h3, which is crucial. So Royal Blue taking a 4-2 lead. And I'm sorry, I've got a slightly laggy connection. Yeah, if no one's going to join me in House Party, I'm going to actually hang up House Party because it slows down my connection a bit. Unless Cross Online, you want to join me? but if you can't, it's fine. Okay, I'm going to hang up. Because I can't. Discord wasn't working well together with Twitch. I've got internet in the UK is not so strong. So just to knight takes h2. Oppa says, yeah, I quite like knight takes h2. Even give up the queen, and the fact that g4 was covered, so there was no knight check. Okay, so just moving the bishops just a little too much instead of developing. But maybe that's the only slight thing. Yeah, okay. Now, this is fine, but very weakening of these squares. And now we've got back rank problems. So, yeah, collapsing a little bit here. This game is basically over already. e6 is too weak, and the back rank is weak. And how do you defend both e6 and your back rank? I don't see... Maybe here, but the point is just pawn here comes pawn here. But you've got to try and evacuate, and e6 is coming. So this is already looking over. Yeah. So in the last game, g4 was well covered. Exactly. The knight on e5 was, if I turn the board, her knight on e5 was covering g4. So even though this bit h2 thing idea was neat, this one's over. Yep. So e6 comes and then it's game over. Because the light squares are too weak. e6 with, if you don't take it, another pawn on d7 comes. If you do take it, takes back, and the threat is renewed on both here and here. The only defense would be like a knight, perhaps. And then this is a good attempted defense, but I'm sure it's mate in 3 here, bishop here, knight here, and pawn here. Just finish this. Oh, okay, not quite. The king still has ambitions to run, so it's not over. How did Zaraza survive this? So, yeah, this is interesting. Because what white wants is obviously a bishop here, and doesn't have it. Okay, I don't think Zaraza is surviving this, because there's going to be a discovery picking up the queen. So yeah. And Oppa, notice, e6, knight takes d5, bishop d7, queen takes d7. Still white winning, but pawn at d7 too. Much better. Oh, so you think pawn at d7 first, and then pawn at e6? Is that what you're saying? Okay, I hadn't thought of that. But okay. White's got a winning attack, safe king, indeed. Rook f7, pawn d7. Yeah, this is all over. So queen here will leave only one square for the king. And then bishop here will create a double threat of queen here and queen takes bishop. So okay, so he's slow playing it. He's slow playing it. He wants. Hang on a second. Didn't he just have a simple mate with? Surely there was something simpler. With the pawn here, queen here. Yeah, no, there wasn't. Yeah, okay. So he's just playing for this back rank. Queen takes bishop. Once the king's on the back rank. So this is the square that needs to be defended. Don't see, you can't even go stuff because pawn here, queen here is also a problem. Yeah, I can't see a way of defending this. Bishop e6, bishop e6 straight away. Does that work? Bishop e6 takes, pawn here, back off, queen here, back off, and then queen takes bishop. Okay, that was a more efficient way of mating. D5, queen e6 takes, yeah, that's what Oppa said. D5, queen e6, and then takes f8. And Bugday says, rook takes f8, maybe in that position, then discover check with the queen. Not sure. But anyway, the e6 hasn't been defended, and so this is game over. Oh, she's trying to do this. Yeah, so maybe pawn here was more... Pawn here was better, because then queen here was mate. But okay, actually this is also mate. Okay. Okay, so Royal Blue with 5 in a row. So after a strong start from Zaraza, it's 5-2 to Royal Blue, needing another half point for victory. And I seem, even though I'm off Discord, it seems I'm still got a slightly laggy connection, so I missed the first few moves of this match. So they're such bullet players. I've got this reconnecting thing on my screen. So it looks like Royal Blue's clock's ticking, but I think it's just my connection has dropped. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. Maybe it's a problem with Lichess and not a problem with me, but more likely it's a problem with me. Can you guys still hear me? Okay, so I'm back. My connection dropped for a second. So takes, back here. So it's important, I think, to reinforce your center. This might also be playable, but this seems fine. Okay, so it goes for a stone wall type setup. So I think the plan would be if this, then some kind of bishop drop. Makes sense. Okay, notice, yeah, maybe this, oh, dropped, this is, you drop the cornerstone of your stone wall if you drop e3, so it's very bad. And here they're going to be back rank issues, potentially. So if you didn't take this, I guess the knight was still defending, so, but probably taking is safest. Now it's a case of defending with bishops. You don't want to give up a knight, because a knight will kill you. A knight here and a pawn here will kill you, so you never want to give up a knight in this position. Oh, so drops a bishop, bishop here. Okay, obviously black is hunting for a knight. So just takes this knight, and what do? Takes back, but now knight here is going to hurt a lot. The momentum changed dramatically, says Oppa, with a crying face. Indeed. I mean, a really good fight from Zaraza, but Royal Blue kind of figured some stuff out, I guess. Whatever he was doing wrong, he seems to have figured it out, and if Zaraza can get attacks going, she's very dangerous. So maybe even here, pawn f6. Could pawn f6 do anything? Let him take the queen and try and just go for this and mate on h6. But yeah. And Oppa says, I recommend playing sharp lines since the FM is good at chess. And yeah, Zaraza is good at the tactics. Yeah, so she's still got ideas with f6 and so on. The king is a little bit weak. And Zaraza says, the end of my torment. Well, it's been a good run. It's been a good run. If this is probably her first ever Crazyhouse World Championship, she's got pretty far. I think in my first Crazyhouse World Championship, I played. Um, I think I played Profs in round 1 and lost to Love 10, and then I played Igor Bugmate in the elimination, and maybe I picked up a couple of games, but okay. So come on, time for attack at f6. Let's go. And the idea is, if takes, knight here and pawn here is mate. Knight here and bishop here is mate. So, oh no, 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 no. Okay, this doesn't. Hang on, does this work? Okay, so if takes, it works. The problem is just ignore. So I think takes. Yeah, this was so much stronger. First. I think so. Anyway, maybe people in chat will tell me I'm just wrong. And Oppa says, looking tough for white, got to defend. What would Jan Lee do here? I think you've got to attack, right? King can run somewhere. You have to attack. Oh, but here, queen here is the problem. You don't want that. But if you take, where's the queen landing? Queen here, I see. Queen here. A rook there. Okay, well you got to just put on another bishop or pawn or something. Keep on attacking. Oh no, 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 no. You want attacking, attacking, attacking. You want diagonals, but okay. You don't want this because rook takes knight, king takes, and then there must be something with the knight. That can't be good. And now this rook is defending everything. Okay. Hang on, take the rook. We need the rook. Okay, this has just been... The rook was a needed piece. Okay, still it's not completely over. The king's always got h3, and h3 is actually quite safe. Yeah, h3 is actually super safe. Block, block. So this game's still on, and Royal Blue is short on time here. So this is still interesting actually. If takes, knight takes, pawn takes, and the bishop at f6 at the end of it with 5 seconds on the clock. Yep, still seems fine. Can't see anything. Knight takes, knight takes, knight takes, knight takes, knight takes. Oh, 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 that's the end of the line. Oh, no, 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 no. Just knight takes. Where's the mate? If knight takes... Black doesn't have any... Black still has an edge, apparently. But doesn't have anything. Has to defend, obviously. So it doesn't have the mate, because it goes for, like, f6. Yeah, you could just take f6 with the knight. So all the diagonal checks are covered, basically. There's no bishop check. Bishop check you just block with the check of your own. So at g7, and black apparently is still fighting, because this is such a big threat. But yeah, apparently you'd have to do this f6, knight takes f6. So it's still a... Yeah, so it's still... It's a kind of confusing position. This is how the engine line would continue. And apparently black still has something. It looks like black is dead, but apparently black still has something here with the pawn, knight, and bishop. But this would be very hard to find in practice. You know, the king's got so far to run. Bishop at d6, king takes b7, rook b8, king c6, rook a6, king here, and rook d8 checkmate. Or yeah, there's nothing else. So Black was still winning in the final position after knight takes queen, but realistically, I don't think, with 5 seconds on the clock, I don't think royal blue would have won that after that. And just going back here, surely going with the diagonal. So knight h6 apparently is good. Okay, I didn't realize that. I was thinking bishop at f6 was stronger. Okay, apparently knight at h6 is still interesting. Knight at h6, bishop at f6, and at e3. Is this what Up was saying? Maybe critical. Takes e3 is critical. Well, king g. Apparently king g1 is what engine. Takes e3, rook or queen e4 apparently. So king g1, apparently you just say, I'm safe on g1. And it's just very unclear. So why not bishop? So I would have played bishop to f6 here. So why am I wrong? So the idea, of course, is just try and swindle him into doing this and get the mate. That's what a beginner might fall for that. And even queen takes bishop, I think, loses because knight takes. And here you have a very pretty mate. I call it the CIW mate. If you take this, the two knights will mate very obviously because you just draw the king up to g7 and then knight here takes, step up, and this is a classic, you cut him off so you can't come back, you can't go back and you can't go forward, block, say block with the bishop, and then pawn here is checkmate. But if he doesn't take it, if he just tries to sidestep, he thinks, oh, I'm fine, I'll just sidestep. There's this very pretty CIW, 3 knight and queen mate. You can't take it because queen here is mate, so you have to take this way. And then you dump the queen on. And you have the smother with the third knight. So let's just play through that again. You've got the queen in hand. You go knight here, check. Queen here, check. And with the third knight, you deliver mate. So this move, bishop f6, is a very tricky move to face. I don't know. Yeah. So although apparently it's not the best move, it is a very tricky move because this loses, at e3, so why can't we just go king g1? So apparently you can just ignore it for a move, is the problem. So if we just grab the queen, apparently those pawns are going to start hurting us. But yeah. Okay, cool games, Zaraza. Definitely looks like a couple of those could have definitely gone the other way. I mean, the engine, that's not a fair analysis. It says he was winning the whole time. That's not really a fair analysis. I felt that was the just score line at the end was 4-4 rather than 6-2. And the games would have gone on. And I think, you know, Royal Blue, he was finding his footing and maybe he would have won the match, but 6-2 does not reflect what those games look like. It looked like it was going to go 3-1. That final game could easily have gone the other way. If you just take the queen in time pressure, could easily have gone the other way. I'm going to be back in 1 minute for the finisher against Advocaat. Let me go fetch a drink. And I just got a message from Marlon. Has Craze withdrawn? I don't think he. So he says he stopped playing Crazyhouse. That's the problem. So I'm not. He hasn't officially withdrawn yet. So we're not sure. So okay, I'll be back here. This game will start shortly. It's the second build today. It's the finisher against Advocaat. I'll be back in a minute. And yeah, nice game, Zaraza. Yeah, too bad it's over for 2020 for the 2021 Crazyhouse World Championship. But wow, you got really far. I was just saying the first time I played CWC, just got beaten twice quite easily. You had a really good run. Okay, back in a minute. And if people do want to join me in the house party, okay, I'll join house party as well. Okay, one sec. Okay, I am back. They haven't started just yet, but they're just about to, and I'll be joining House Party with Zaraza. Let me just... Hello, can you hear me?
I'm here, hi.
Excellent, wonderful.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about those games?
Oh, starting. Sure, Advocaat.
So, yeah, we're perfect timing for this bug day. Nice. So yeah, any thoughts about your match? You had a great start.
Yes, 2-0.
2-0, yeah. And then almost 3-1, as Oppo was saying. It's almost 3-1, and then, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I tried.
You
No.
did, you did. You played so well.
Excuse me. Yeah.
No, you played really well.
I will try next year.
Next year, yeah.
With you. Mm.
So we're all tuned up for the finisher against Advocaat. Maybe I'll try and while we're waiting, I'll just ping people on. Okay, actually, Mike Mixu has done the job to ping people for his CWC match. I usually play when I find when I'm playing a match, I don't really I don't like to ping Discord that that's happening. I like to just hope no one's watching and just get on with it, kind of thing. And if people watch, then great. But I just want to focus on the match. Okay, so it seems they've only played one game in the past, which the finisher won. Okay, the finisher is going to be black in game one.
London system.
Is it? I've got a funny internet connection because I can only see one move, d4. So maybe I'm on delay today. Okay, maybe it will be London system. Yeah. Let's see. Bishop g5. Okay, so not quite London system. Something else. Oh, okay. So the finisher. I do this myself. Just this fianchetto, aggressive fianchetto. We're going to see a push to g4, I think, because you don't want the h file to open. So white took back very quickly there. Queen takes knight. Of course, it was check, so you had to. Yeah, fair enough. So this is interesting. I wasn't expecting this move, knight b. I mean, it makes sense. So he's trying to take away the bishop, and it makes sense. He pushed the pawn, and he's going to put a bishop on this diagonal where the queen is. So the finisher knows what he's doing in the opening. So this must all be knight here. Okay, this is very nice. You see how he's controlling all the light squares around his king? Yeah, very solid. So even though it's quite a holy opening, he's actually controlling all the squares with his bishops.
Knight won't takes bishop.
Yeah, he wants knight takes bishop. Well, he did want knight takes bishop, but now the king's castled the other way. So he has to think, how should I attack that king? So he could go knight takes bishop and then another bishop on h7 and just gang up on c2, gang up on pawn at c2. He's in the tank. He does do that. I think.
Take.
Yeah. I'm expecting.
Oh.
I'm expecting bishop. I'm expecting bishop takes c2. Like whatever happens, even if white defends, I think he's just going to take on c2. No, maybe you can't take twice, but he wants to get the other bit. The bishop on c8. He will try and get that onto the diagonal. So yeah, that's allowing him. He's going to go bishop takes knight and bring the other bishop into the diagonal. Something like this. Maybe not, but I think he will. So Oppa says, isn't c takes d3 more common to cover e4?
Black defense bishops, white defense knights.
That's true. Yeah, indeed. So it's bishops against knights. Okay, so he plays more solid. Okay, yeah, of course. We're talking about the finisher here. We're not talking about OK, who just goes all sack on the opponent. Yeah. So he's just going to play this really solidly. Okay, interesting. And notice not many pieces in hand, so we might see A5.
Take. Don't take.
So where's the knight heading? Because both the squares it's aiming at are defended.
Nice move.
But not clear what's the next. So it's hitting a lot of squares, but they're all defended. So it's not clear. So maybe he's going to try and take the knight. Yeah, maybe he takes the knight and then picks up a pawn. Yeah, see, maybe if you take the knight on d3, then you've got a choice. Do I take the pawn in the center or the pawn b2 near the king? And he's. But then the problem is it does open up the rook. That was quite nice that White's put his rook on f1. So, okay, nice play from Advocaat as well. So he takes the knight, okay, which seems clear, but probably, that's what I suspected. Taking the central pawn, just taking away. And now, if he had a bishop, he put a bishop on g7. He doesn't have a bishop. That's kind of annoying. That is annoying. That he doesn't have a bishop. You want a bishop on g7, you'd be like, partner, get me a bishop. So does he just go sack on? I don't know. It's a double-edged position. Don't want to lose your queen. So bishop takes knight isn't a mate threat is the problem. Otherwise you could just give up the queen. Okay, the queen flies.
Oh, pawn on f3. f3.
Yeah. So remember, the knight's hanging all this time. We could get the knight coming back here, but then bishop takes h6. You could, sorry, I should because you're looking at the Lee chess board. I should say the notation. So you could take move the knight to.
Oh, pawn on a. Oh.
So you see how White always wants to take the pawn on h6, but is never having time to do so. That's the kind of. Ooh. So at some point we're going to see, I think, bishop takes rook. Ouch. Bishop takes rook comes. Oh, knight takes rook. Maybe that's even stronger. I thought. Wasn't bishop takes rook stronger? Hang on. Bishop takes rook felt. Okay, bishop takes rook wasn't check, but isn't bishop takes rook so much stronger? Maybe I'm wrong. Because now there's queen takes bishop, knight f8. Bugday says, beautiful fork. Yeah, this one's a beautiful fork. The knight on. That's a beautiful fork. But the follow-up, do you take with the knight or the bishop? Okay, so. Yeah, okay, I guess it's all solid, still solid. Throws in a check. Oh, this is good play from Advocaat though, because it's a fight. But the finisher is grinding him down by the looks of it. And then d2 is weak, that's the problem. Yeah. d2 is weak, and so it looks like he's... Oh, this is... Yeah, ouch, ouch. Ouch. Okay, he's got to be... Yeah.
Finisher very strong.
Of course. And probably at d2 again, but he's low on time, less than 10 seconds. And he's getting nervous. Oof, that was a pre-move. Yeah, there's going to be a back rank mate here. Okay.
Enjoy watching him play.
Yeah. Very nice. Bishop takes queen is coming with the checkmate, winning the queen. Oh, okay, I missed that. But okay, the mate's coming next move.
Oh,
Yeah, it's mate coming next. I mean, okay, so it's not quite next move. Just rook takes. Just take all the pieces basically. Okay, this is nicer. So cut off the king, cut off the king, and then queen g6. Okay, so he's figured it out. Okay, he mates with the pawn, just showing off.
back on g4. No. Oh,
Okay, so
take.
but you are watching on Lichess, right?
Close and take knight.
Because the game is over. But
Yeah.
but you're still talking about.
Easy.
So are you sure you're watching on Lichess, not on Twitch, right? Because so d6. So what I'm trying to say is.
e4.
Yeah, so there's a slight delay, Zaraza, in the commentary. That's the slight problem. As if you're watching the stream and not the matches on Lichess. And Hazuntu says, I have 10 to 15 seconds delay on the stream. Yeah, exactly. The stream is delayed 10 to 15 seconds, which is correct. But then I'm hoping Zaraza is not watching the stream and that she's watching on Lichess. Is that clear, Zaraza? You're watching the games on Lichess, because otherwise we get a slight delay between the commentary and the action.
Yes, on the chess on stream.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is, I hope you can't see my arrows. That's what I'm trying to say. When I do arrows on the screen, I hope you can't see them. Because if you can see my arrows, that means you're watching the stream and not the Lichess. So okay, so backing up this game, we have maybe I just need to stream on slight delay myself, basically. So, but then that doesn't work because then I get another 15-second delay. Okay, so how has he done this? Okay, he takes a big center, and he's playing on these dark squares, and he's going to hit g7. He's going to take a probably bishop c3 just to trade. Okay, he even just goes pawn. That's slightly risky, opening up c2 when he hasn't castled yet. But okay, it's probably okay. And it looks like he's planning knight takes g7 and bishop f6 kind of ideas. So the Super Smart Chess Player says, on Twitch my screen is a bit blurred. So if you can, okay, if you have like a gigantic, like full screen TV or something, then I'm not surprised if it's a bit blurred because I don't screen at maximum resolution. But apparently there is also a setting on Twitch to change the resolution. So if it's blurred, it might just be because the resolution you've chosen isn't the highest resolution that I'm streaming at. So it could be on your side as well. Yeah, so Pethidine says seems to be working fine for him. Okay, so he's grabbed the queen. So Zaraza, can you see when I do arrows on the screen? Can you see them?
Yes.
Yeah, well then you shouldn't be able to. Yeah, you shouldn't be able to see the arrows because if you're looking at see the arrows means you're looking at my stream and not looking on Lichess.
Okay.
Because you need to watch on Lichess because otherwise there's a delay. Okay, we're gonna. Have we got the mate coming? So bishop at f6 is tempting, but is it enough? So you just calculate takes, knight here, runs back. Okay, it goes to the other side. Okay, this is so obviously if the king runs this way, we have this, and is there mate king comes here, this square is covered, this square is covered. Oh, he runs the other way. Okay, but this doesn't work because there's back rank mate. Simple. No, not so simple, because the bishop covers this square. So, sorry, I should use notation rather than just saying this square and stuff like this. So it's my bad as well. So pawn at e7, check, king e8. Okay, he goes for this instead. So he just absolutely stopped the king from running to e8, keeping the king on the king side.
Oh. Knight on d8.
Knight on d8, yep. So he's giving up. He'd have to keep on giving up pieces for pawns, but yep. So can we see the mate? Knight takes bishop? No, okay. Where's the mate? Okay, so he's going for a nice smother. Can you see the smother he's going for? He's going for knight e7, king f8, knight... Okay, that's stopped, but he was going for knight g6, king g8, queen f8, rook takes f8, and then knight e7 back again, smother. So it's a very sort of neat little smother he was going for. So Oppa says rook f8, bishop at e8. If okay, I'm just, let me try and follow this. If rook f8, bishop at e8 is fancy. If bishop takes e8, queen takes f8 is mate. If rook takes f8, oh, if f takes e6, takes h6. Okay, I think I understand you, Oppa, but it was just a little bit too big brain for me. But I might need to show that in the analysis board afterwards. So somehow Advocaat is still fighting this. How is he still fighting this? So here, bishop block, throws in a check, throws in another check, picks up another piece. God, he's just taking all the pieces basically. So, and the finisher doesn't mind. He loves taking all the pieces. He'll just try and stay safe. Okay, so bishop is overloaded. Okay, fine. I mean, this is not the most efficient. Just bishop takes pawn was good. Bishop takes bit. Actually, it wasn't because the knight's defending here. So, wow, Advocaat is good at is good at defending for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll show the Oppa's line when I can after the game, because I sort of half see it, but not completely. Okay, now.
27.
Yeah, exactly. Nice one. And now, knight takes knight, I guess. Just rip off the material. Knight takes knight. The finisher just wants to take every single piece, doesn't he? Knight takes knight. Come, take all the pieces. Takes the bishop with check, and he finally gets a mate. Okay, so let's just have a quick look at the analysis. So where was this? It was so this position here. Pawn at e6.
0.
Bishop e8. So where was this here? After pawn at e6, if rook. Okay, so you're saying, is it if rook f8? Oh, if rook f8. Okay, then bishop at e8 is fancy. because if bishop takes bishop, I'm not. Oh yeah, if bishop takes bishop, then queen takes f8. Sorry, I've got a very laggy connection. And then you go king here and rook here is checkmate, right? And if rook takes f8, then obviously just this is checkmate. And if what was the other one? If f takes e6, then knight takes h6.
Oh, nice.
Knight takes h6, takes... Okay, and then it's a bit more complicated. Takes h6, apparently bishop at f7. Okay, so something was going on. But okay, surely there was something cleaner at some point here. Still, it was... Yeah, so apparently just, yeah, Advocaat seems to resist it very well. There was no forced mate anywhere along that sequence. Anywhere obvious, anyway. So... Strong defense from Advocaat, and let's get to the current game. Yeah, I showed that. Bishop d8. Okay, I'm getting a bit of feedback from you, Zaraza, by the way. Not quite sure. Okay, so trying to catch up on this game. So I think, Zaraza, you're touching on mic a little bit. I'm not quite sure what's happening. Okay. I think it's better now.
Sorry.
That's okay. Hi there, Pethidine. He says, for future dual streams, you could investigate even sharing in Discord so both of you can see the arrows, and when you revisit a just finished... Oh yeah. So yeah, in this case... Yeah, I don't know how to do these advanced things. You're right. It's tough. So when I like do arrows on the screen so that you can see the arrows I'm doing, stuff like this. Mugwort says this is taking sack sitting to a new level. Because obviously white's just... Okay, so we're going to see the queen falling soon. So knight takes queen. And I'm imagining something like just something defending f7 and hitting that rook will probably come. Okay, just he's not afraid of f7 at all, so he's just going straight in. And it's hard to defend the rook, so you have to move it, but then if you move it, he's going to be trying to calculate a mate. So if you just move the rook away, his queen takes f2. His queen takes f2. Okay. Okay, so this is again just take all the pieces time. So knight f3 comes. This is going to be game over. Knight f3 takes, and you go at h3, rook h3, rook g1 mate, which we were discussing. Yesterday, Zara, this little pattern that you played in your own game. So knight f3 take. Okay, no, never mind. This is also very good. So block. That's a fancy way of finishing it as well. So, the second game was a lot easier for the finisher, somehow. Oh, so I see. So internet bandwidth allowing, so it might require more bandwidth to screen share and stuff. I see, yeah. So Zaraza, you need to keep the mic, like, I don't know, a nice hand away from you so, so you're not touching the mic. That's sort of, yeah. Oh, God, there were too many white pieces left.
I have a problem with the sound.
So I can hear you perfectly, but it's just when, I think sometimes you're touching the microphone, that's all. So as long as you don't touch the microphone, everything's perfect. So like right now, everything's perfect. But if you're touching the microphone, then yeah, we hear lots of movement. But right now, it's perfect. So I mean, this is one idea. What are other ideas here? So this is under some pressure. Okay, this is like another idea. Again, so the finisher is still in the book. He's just going to rip open this king side. Just he knows exactly what he's doing here. Knight g7 coming. Ooh, knight g7 is coming. Takes this bishop. So where's the king going to go? So I think this is. He's suddenly thinking. So it means Advocaat is finally out of book. So obviously you don't want to go here because then other knight takes bishop comes with the immediate at g7 threat. But if you don't really want to go here either, so oh okay, well knight takes bishop is coming then, or even bishop here. So lots of choices for white.
I don't just one.
So say that again, Zaraza.
Mm-hmm.
Finn playing strong, says Abhijit.
Just move bishop on h6.
Yep, I think you're watching the stream again and not watching. So you shouldn't be able to see my arrows, by the way. You should just be able. You should be watching on Lichess, because otherwise we're slight delay. But yeah, bishop h6 is good. So Advocaat going for some kind of counterattack, but there's no threat at all because e2 is covered by the knight. So white could just ignore him, pick up the rook, pick up the pawn. That's what he did. Okay, and now suddenly there is a threat. Suddenly there is a slight threat. Still, you can always go king d2, king c1. It's not really a big issue. There's also queen h5 pick up knight idea, but it doesn't work because knight g6 protects that knight. Okay, now queen h5 is a possibility because the knight will then have to run back to g6, or else you pick up a free knight. So queen h5 is interesting now.
Knight. Oh, nice move. Queen on h5, check and take.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And so he has to move the knight back. Okay, do I think black can survive from white's attack?
Да, knight back. Yep.
Yeah, I think white's too safe. So I mean, if black were like Jasugi 99, then he'd still have chances. But
On G3.
yeah, so pawn on G3, trying to cut off the G file. That makes sense. So the finisher going for material, but by doing so, he's left F3 weak. Very nice move here. You have to go king takes, because if queen takes D2, knight F3 comes. So king D2 is forced. I'm going to have to do kind of backwards and forwards commentary, basically, to compensate for lag. So I'll kind of go backwards and forwards. So covering F3 again, and this is a no blockers theme. Picking up the queen. So notice only has a pawn. Checks again using no blockers. No blockers for black to block with, and picking up the queen with check. I don't know. I wonder if bishop takes pawn first was good, and then take. But okay, this seems fine as well.
Well, try for
So
black.
everything. Notice how everything's defended. There's nothing, and the king can always run as well. So yeah, the king can always run to safety on b1. So everything is always safe. And so yeah, there's not much hope. White just keep on exploiting the fact black only has one blocker to try and torture him. Takes the knight with check. Yeah. And where's the finish? Takes. Oh, you're right. Takes. Knight here. Notice what the knight is cutting the king off from running back to the back rank. So very nice to cut him off and then delivers the finish. The swallowtail mate, where the king's escape squares are both cut off. Yeah. Yeah, so probably even Jasugi 9 couldn't beat the finisher from that position. In answer to Bugday's question, as Oppa says, finisher's too serious. 4-0 indeed. And the first game was quite exciting, but since then I think the finisher's just been in book pretty much. So notice here, Advocaat is playing the same kind of system as the finisher played with the fianchetto. So he must be contemplating castles, knight takes f7, and then ideas of at. I think that's still fine. Castle seems completely fine here.
By the way, Advocaat played on house on fix.
He played on fix. Bughouse on fix. Yeah.
Back play.
Yes. And what was his username? Was his username also Advocaat on fix?
On fix, Leon Russia.
So how do you spell that? Leon.
Leon Russia.
Leon Russia. Okay, cool. Good to know. I have actually done some fix. I've done some fixed Bughouse videos on my YouTube. So
I don't play on fix.
no, I know. But you see, because fix is kind of only leeches. I know, because fix is kind of dead at the moment. No one plays there anymore. But I have on my YouTube way back when, not way back when, but tried to revive like Bughouse on Fix. Tried to like we got like Oppa and GSVC and all of these Lee chess players. We'd play some games on Fix, and no one else plays that basically because everyone plays on chess.com these days. But we tried to play some games on Fix, and this it's slightly different setup. Abhijit says Fix is dead. Yeah, so we tried to revive it. So I've got actually a whole playlist of Fix streams, which are like, so like we set up something called Fix Friday. So every Friday evening we'd go on Fix and have some Bughouse, but trying to bring it back to life. Okay, so how do I attack this king? H3 is an interesting point. C2 is an interesting point. And not clear how to proceed here because that pawn on White's strongest piece is his pawn on G5. Means you don't really want to trade pawns. Oof. Yeah, if I don't know, I like White in a way. I mean, but having said that, has he? Yeah, I think White has got a big space advantage, and he's coming in. You can just dump her pieces on F6, just dump like a knight on F6 or something, and get quite a threatening position. Okay, so maybe Black had their own ideas. So E3 maybe was slight. Bishop takes F2 and E3 ideas maybe was slight. G3 slight weaknesses. Yeah. So that bishop is on an annoying diagonal. So I wonder whether you can just sidestep it somehow, like King H2 or something. Oh yeah, Jan Lee's got some proper. So the fixed videos we did were just like, it's just more like fun Crazyhouse. So fun Bughouse. But Jan Lee's got some more high house stuff. I've got a few high house, but
in Russian speak.
Yeah.
Okay, in Russian speak, diagonal. This is diagonal.
Yes. Yes.
Diagonal.
Yes. But Black has all the diagonals. White's got knights, only knights, knights. He needs to go, knight F6 at H6. That's like the long-term plan, and he hasn't done that, and that's going to hurt. Oh yeah, he's got no time to grab diagonals because look at this.
Bishop F5 take pawn H3 and no.
But look at this position.
Bishop on E4.
Yeah, bishop E4. But look at this position, bishop against knights. White would like some bags, says F Gala.
You won't take.
Yes.
F3. 4 pieces.
Yep. Ouch. A pawn is going to hurt. Okay, time to attack. Bishop F6. I mean, I don't know, but you just need to do something.
Oh.
The problem is White. The problem is White's been defending. Okay, maybe F3 here, but the problem is White's been defending all game. No, F3 knight takes queen. The problem is White's been defending all game. White had a wonderful position to attack, but just never quite had the chance to attack. So Black kept on distracting White, distracting. I'll show it in the position the point when White should have attacked. It was very critical. Bugday says Finn is on savage mode. Yeah, but I think actually he had chances this game, and I'll just show you the point when I think he had chances after this match, after this game. Okay, but now this is checkmate on g2. But let's just open it up in analysis board. There's always a critical point when you have to. Your opponent is harassing you, and you have to defend, 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 and at some point you need to counterattack. Now this is the point. So you've got a wonderful setup. Now maybe do you use one move to defend and then counterattack, or do you counterattack immediately? And I'll just look at the engine. Engine says counterattack immediately, and I just said the same. I was thinking f6, knight on f6, check, but engine actually likes knight takes d5 or knight at h6. Okay, so knight at h6 makes sense. And the point is, if you just slide away to the corner, you're just losing very, very quickly with the pawn on f6. Oh, and you can even take a bishop, apparently, and then put a bishop on f6. Okay, so white is actually completely crushing in this position, in this last game. So you probably have to take that knight. And the problem with taking that knight is now you have knight at f6 check, and if you're going to go to h8, you have g takes h6, and the pawn here is mate, so you're just dying. And if you go this, and pawn takes pawn, king takes, and your king has been flushed out, and it's a matter of time before bad things happen. And I can't, now you've only got a pawn in hand, so I can't see what you do. But apparently knight g4 is good, and he doesn't want to give up a bishop because bishop on g5 will pick up the queen. So he maybe runs back.
Queen takes knight.
Yeah, I mean, if queen takes knight, you're winning the. If queen takes knight here, you're winning the queen. You're completely winning as white. You know, white is safe. If you do this, the point is bishop takes knight, queen takes. You've got bishop here coming. You're picking up the queen. Like how do you defend? And if you assuming you run back, then okay, we're like a pawn short from mate, because the knight will come in to guard this square. King here, you're just a pawn short, but then you can just grab a pawn like this or something. And actually, even stronger than this apparently is just grabbing it with the queen, because you're threatening a queen trade and takes on g7. So you see how this game, Advocaat is actually completely crushing. Completely crushing.
One pawn, one bishop.
Yeah, completely crushing. So this actually, this was the important move here, which this and this, bishop takes pawn, pawn takes, queen takes g5 is actually critical for the finisher to actually get back level in this position. After this move, I could see, I couldn't even see the exact continuation, but I could see this is a critical point. Advocaat had to attack. The moment he defends, he's completely losing. Completely losing. He needs to use those two knights in hand to attack. So okay, back to the current game. So that shows like even the finisher does give chances. So we see a Scandi. Oh, Abhijit Go, thanks for helping retitle the stream, because this is the second match in the series. And so what's happening here? Takes this must still be theory. Castles h3, bishop g5 takes the queen. And so in this sort of position, you don't want to give a rook and you don't want to give a knight. If you don't give a rook and a knight, you're up a lot of material. Maybe at some point you're going to clear out that knight and first clear out the knight, clear out the pawn. So you have to think of it, there's a chain of pieces supporting this pawn. And the beginning of that chain, the root, is the knight. So if you can clear out the knight, then the pawn will be weak later on. So you don't focus on the pawn, you probably focus on the knight first. Maybe. So, yep, queen here check, picks up the knight, he does that. And oh, now he's just brutalizing, just picking up all the pieces. And this is just brutal. This is utterly brutal. Queen takes bishop check, or queen takes d8. I think this is game over, right? Game over. Black resigns. So absolutely brutal finish from the finisher. But as we saw, Advocaat did have a chance to win one game. Okay, so hope you enjoyed this fun stream. Thanks Zaraza for joining. What do you think of that match? Finisher too tough for Advocaat, even though Advocaat played really well, defended well, and had chances.
Yes. Yeah.
Any thoughts? Final thoughts? No? Okay, so goodbye everyone then. Bye, Zaraza.
Thank you for stream my game and yeah, bye bye.
Bye.